Good evening. Tonight we examine a question confronting every American president. The United States faces conflict with Iran, uncertainty among some allies, domestic political polarization, and difficult choices about military power, diplomacy, and national purpose. History cannot tell us what decision should be made. It can, however, illuminate the consequences of choices. Tonight on Postlogue, we examine a question that has confronted every great nation at one time or another. How should a republic lead in an increasingly dangerous world without losing sight of the principles it seeks to defend? To help us explore that question, we are joined by four extraordinary figures whose ideas have shaped the course of history. General Sun Tzu, the ancient Chinese strategist whose art of war has guided military leaders for more than 2,000 years. We look to him for wisdom on strategy, restraint, and the elusive art of winning without fighting. Emperor Napoleon, one of history's greatest battlefield commanders and nation builders. He understands the burdens of decisive leadership, the risks of overreach, and the difficult balance between military success and political purpose. Dr. Karl Marx, philosopher, economist, and one of history's most influential critics of capitalism and political power. He reminds us that nations are held together not only by armies, but also by the economic and social conditions of the people they govern. And Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher, whose leadership during the final decades of the Cold War embodied democratic resolve, economic reform, and the belief that freedom must sometimes be defended with strength. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Postlogue. History has joined the conversation. General Sun Tzu. America is often accused of doing either too much or too little.
The first question is not whether one can win, it is whether victory has been defined. A nation that enters conflict without a clear political purpose fights shadows instead of enemies. The highest achievement is not conquest, it is securing one's objectives while leaving the fewest future enemies before drawing the sword. Ask whether your opponent can be persuaded to sheath his.
Emperor Napoleon, has America defined victory?
No, this is not the question. History seldom rewards hesitation. Yet history is equally unforgiving of ambition without calculation. Power is useful only when directed toward a precise objective. One marches toward a destination, not merely away from danger. The commander who mistakes motion for strategy eventually discovers that distance alone does not produce victory.
Dr. Marx, you have heard two military minds. What do they overlook?
Wars are often explained as contests of nations. Frequently, they are also contests of economic systems, resources, and competing interests. A republic should ask itself a difficult question. When sacrifice is requested, who bears the burden, and who receives the benefit? A nation divided by widening inequality may discover that its greatest vulnerability lies not abroad, but within.
Prime Minister Thatcher, your response?
A free society survives only when it possesses both the confidence to defend itself and the discipline to govern itself. Strength without principle becomes tyranny. Principle without strength becomes an invitation. Alliances are valuable, provided they are partnerships rather than dependencies. The first duty of government is the security of its citizens. The second is preserving the liberty that makes that security worth defending.
General Sun, can democracies defeat determined adversaries?
Certainly, provided they remember that patience is also a weapon. Impatience is often the ally of one's opponent.
Patience has its place. So does decisive action. Opportunity does not wait forever.
Neither does freedom. There are moments when delay merely transfers greater costs to the next generation.
And there are moments when governments mistake criticism for disloyalty. Healthy republics permit vigorous debate. Otherwise, they cease to be healthy republics.
One final question. What single piece of advice would each of you offer an American president? General Sun?
Know the desired peace before beginning the war.
Emperor Napoleon?
Never confuse activity with strategy.
Dr. Marks?
Strengthen the nation from within, or its enemies will eventually exploit its divisions.
Prime Minister Thatcher?
Lead with conviction, but remember that free citizens must ultimately consent to be led.
History rarely offers perfect answers. It offers perspective. Our guests tonight disagreed on many things, yet all agreed upon one. Nations are strongest when they understand not only what they oppose, but what they seek to preserve. If past is prologue, postlogue is eternal. For Postlogue, I'm Walter Cronkite. Good night.